runs in there and starts ordering these black teenagers on the ground, and he doesn't even try to see what's going on. He doesn't care about what's going on. All he knows is, there's black teenagers and he needs to take control of the situation. I don't know what the guy was thinking, but obviously he's a jackass, racist dickface. So you can understand what's going to happen when you're watching the video. And we see so many videos nowadays. Everybody has a camera phone and anybody can take video. Anybody can take video, and everybody is automatically what you should do when you see the police is pull out your phone and start recording what's going to happen, because you never know what might happen, especially if it's a white police officer approaching someone black. You should pull out your phone, start recording it, because if it wasn't for people making video of these situations, then the cops would just lie about it and say, well, he was resisting arrest, or, he was fighting us and, we didn't have a choice but to shoot the guy, or whatever they say. They usually just lie and no one questions it. I mean, there's been several times where the cops have murdered people, and the only way it was known that that's what happened is because of the videos that were put out on the internet, and the cops a lot of times try to stop people from recording. They see you with your phone out recording the situation, and they'll tell you, stop it, turn it off, get out of here, so I'm still surprised that there's so many incidents, though, even in the modern age of cell phones with video cameras on them. There still seem to be a lot of police officers, police brutality. Even the Derek Chauvin video with Chauvin murdering George Floyd. This cop has his knee on George Floyd's neck, and he sees that there were people standing on the sidewalk recording him killing this man, and he puts his hand in his pocket like it's no big deal. Just another day at the office. Killing a black man is just what we do in Minneapolis if you're on the police force. So this is we're at a point, though, right now, is where people are just not going to take it anymore. And I got news for all you racist people out there who think, we outnumber the blacks. There's the black population in America is only 13% of the population is black. And all the rednecks and the racist individuals think, well, if we have a race war, we'll win because we outnumber black people. I got news for you. It's a lot of the white people who don't agree with you that you're going to have a problem with. It's not just black people. If you see these protests, there's a lot of white people at these protests who don't agree with this action that the police brutality. Okay? They're marching down streets and chanting Black Lives Matter and no justice, no peace, and justice for George Floyd with the black people. And some of the young white people was even looting. Not that I condone that. I don't. I think it's stupid. But this is because it takes the looting takes the attention away from the issue, and then just causes people to say, see, these guys are thugs. They deserve to be beat up by the cops. But no, there's a lot of white people at these protests. The protests have, like I said, spread all over the world. So this is a surprise to me. This is a lot of times I can see stuff happening, and I'll talk about that a little bit. Right now we're gonna go take a 30-second break, and when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about this protest, and we'll talk a little bit about the NFL. What not George Floyd, but what Drew Brees has said, and what Roger Goodell has said all this week. When we come back, don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
And now, without further ado, the man we've all been waiting for, TJMD. Welcome back to the show.
I am TJMD. I'm the man that you were waiting for. In case you didn't know, that's my nickname. A sweet nickname, I might add, that I got from Fred Oliver when I was a kid. But anyway, welcome back. Before we went to that little break, I was talking about these protests that have been happening for the last 13 days. We've had protests every single day throughout the U.S., and now it seems to have spread across the world. Wow. I mean, this is really something. This is a historic event. I mean, we've never seen this in my lifetime, and I'm 50 years old. I hate to keep telling people I'm 50 years old just in case there's an attractive girl out there who wants to date me, and she thinks, oh man, I didn't know he was 50. He's too old for me. No. If you're in your 20s, I'm just right for you. But anyway, I digress. That was pretty funny. I digress. Listen, earlier this week or last weekend or whenever it was, Drew Brees, quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, was in an interview, and he was asked about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee during the national anthem 4 years ago. This happened, and Colin Kaepernick lost his job. He was blackballed out of the league because he started the peaceful protests amongst the players of taking a knee during the national anthem. And I wish I had I don't have the audio of what Drew Brees said, or I'd play it for you. At some point, I'm gonna get a producer on this show, and they'll dig up everything I need and they'll play it. I mean, they'll have it ready. But right now, I am the producer of the show, and I didn't think about getting that audio. Should have looked for that audio online. But in any case, Drew Brees, and I'm paraphrasing here, basically said that his grandfathers, both of his grandfathers, were in the service. One was in the Army, the other one was in the Marines. They fought in World War II, and that he doesn't agree with anybody disrespecting the flag by taking a knee during the national anthem. He talked about during the national anthem, during the football games, how he stands on the sideline with a hand over his heart. And, he talks about why he does that. And he says he didn't agree with anybody taking a knee during the national anthem, disrespecting the flag and troops. And I listened to this and I said, I can't believe he's saying this. After Colin Kaepernick, first off, sat on the bench during the national anthem, and it was a guy, an ex-Green Beret, who was in the service, who met with Colin Kaepernick, talked to Colin Kaepernick, and he is the one who's told Colin Kaepernick, be better if you knelt down on one knee. during the national anthem, whether than to just sit. So Colin started doing that. And the thing about the kneeling is this. When people say you're disrespecting the flag is never going to have its feelings hurt by people taking a knee. The flag is never going to be angry from people taking a knee. So as far as you disrespecting the flag will be fine, okay? The flag will be fine. You're not hurting the flag. Okay, we're talking about human beings losing their lives, and you're worried about the flag. Okay? And there was black soldiers in World War II, right alongside your grandfathers, Drew. Black American soldiers who didn't get the same treatment when they got home from fighting for this country. They didn't get the same respect as a veteran, Drew, as your grandfathers did. So you can say anything you want. But when Colin Kaepernick, who came from an affluent family, is a mixed guy, half black and half white, gives up the job that he loves and that he trained his whole life to become an NFL quarterback. When he gives that up, because he didn't have to do it. I mean, Colin Kaepernick, like I said, he came from a middle-class family who done very well for themselves. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't him being oppressed. It wasn't Colin Kaepernick. He said, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for those people who don't have a voice, who suffer at the hands of racist cops and racist people like George Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin, and Ahmaud Arbery's killers, who, if it wasn't for the video, they would have gone scot-free. They would have gotten off scot-free if it wasn't for that video coming to light where they followed this guy when he was jogging down the street. They confronted him, and then they shot him. They killed him. Okay, Ahmaud Arbery was the incident that happened right before this George Floyd situation. Okay, so, but after Colin Kaepernick took a knee and lost his job, that's how he was paid. That's how he was repaid. That's what happens when you go against the establishment. And I'm not talking about just the NFL. I'm talking about any powerful establishment, whether it be the government or just a group of rich white people who you do something they don't like, and they're going to make you pay for it. So Colin Kaepernick lost his job, was blackballed, and you can't tell me, and I've said this before, you can't tell me that Colin Kaepernick was not a better quarterback than half the teams, and at least a better backup quarterback than all of the teams. Every team out there, 99% of the teams, there's 32 NFL teams. Colin Kaepernick is better than their backup quarterback, so he could have played for somebody. They didn't want him to play because he took a knee during the national anthem, and they didn't like that. Okay, and that was the peaceful protest. You want to ask for peaceful protest? That was the peaceful protest. You didn't like that. You threw a fit about that. So this time when they protested, there was going to be some violence. Okay, I don't agree with the violence.